In this video, we are going to be creating a simple enemy AI that is going to be able to detect and chase after our player character. We are going to be using the PawnSensing sight mechanism, but I'm going to explain what that means as we go. So let's boot up the first person character tutorial and get to work. First, we're going to go and we're going to create a blueprint class, and this blueprint is going to serve as our AI body. Now, for this, it's important that we choose either a pawn or a character. The way we decide which we want is we have to ask ourselves if we want this character to move. If you want this AI to be able to move, then choose the character preset. If movement isn't important, then choose pawn. Since movement is important for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to choose character. I'm going to name this enemy AI, and I'm going to open this up. With this open, you can quickly go and choose a mesh and animation if you are so inclined for whatever is going to chase after your player. For me, I have this, but honestly, it doesn't matter as long as it's something that can T-pose dramatically after your player. In the top left-hand corner, we're going to add a component. The component we're looking for here is called PawnSensing. Add that component to your blueprint, and you will see a whole bunch of lines appear. I'm going to zoom out so I can show you what each of these lines does. Each of these colored lines corresponds to some sort of sense that the AI can do through this PawnSensing. We can explore this further under the AI tab under details. For instance, if we change the hearing threshold, we will see that that corresponds to this blue. If we change the line of sight hearing threshold, that corresponds to this yellow. And finally, our sight radius corresponds to this green. So each of these numbers corresponds to how much detection is possible for each sense. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to be focusing on the sight sense. For sight, we have our sight radius, which dictates how far we're going to be able to see. We have a sensing interval, which dictates how often we are going to check our sight radius. And we have this peripheral vision angle, which dictates how much of a peripheral vision our character has. When I change this to 70, you can see that we have a much stricter cone of vision than when I have this at 90. Other settings you might be interested in are if you want to be able to see pawns or just the players, and if you want to have sensing updates in general, or if you want to call this all manually. For the purposes of today, everything is going to stay as default. So now we're going to use a method on this component called onCPawn. If you go into the details tab and go all the way to the bottom, you'll have the different events that we can program. We're going to choose the onCPawn and we're going to hit plus to add that to our blueprint. Now we're going to start off simple here. I'm going to drag off of this and I'm just going to do a simple print string, and I'm going to print hello whenever our little friend detects someone. So let's compile and save this and go back to our map. I'm just going to drag our enemy AI into the scene, and I'm going to make sure that the eyes are facing away so that I can show you exactly when this detection starts happening. So I hit play. I'm now my first person character. I slowly sneak up on the abomination, and then as I move in front of it, we can see in the top left hand corner that we are logging that hello message. When I move behind, we can see that that slowly disappears because we are no longer being detected, and as I inch closer, you will see that I eventually start getting detected once again. So now we're going to kick things up a notch by getting this AI to chase after our player. We are not going to do anything fancy. We are just going to detect the player and then chase it until we go blue in the face. So I'm going to remove this print string and we're going to go and do something different now. Let's drag off of here and we're going to do something called AI Move To. Within AI Move To, we have the pawn, which dictates what is going to be moving. And then we have either the destination vector or the target actor, which dictates where we're going to be moving to. You only have to fill in one of these, and target actor is the priority. In this case, where we want to move to is going to be the pawn that we detected. So onCPawn, we get a pawn that was detected, and that is where we're going to want to go and move towards. As for what is moving, that is just this. So I'm going to drag off of pawn, and I'm just going to get a reference to myself so that I'm saying that this object is going to move towards whatever we have sensed. This is the simple loop that we're going to need in order to chase down our player. So let's compile and save and go back to our map. When I hit play here, I'm going to slowly sneak up on my little lad, and I'm going to move in front here. And you're going to notice that nothing is happening. And that's because we need to add something to our world that tells our AI where it can move. In the top left of this world view, we're going to quickly add to the project something called a nav mesh bounds volume. You can add that to the world and it goes and creates this trigger volume looking thing right here. Getting a good look at our world from the sky, I'm going to go and scale this with the R shortcut so that it covers our entire world here. You do not have to be very precise with this. All that really matters is that you're covering where you want the AI to go. And what's neat here is if you hit the shortcut P, you're going to be able to see where the AI can move. It's going to glow in green. And you're noticing that nothing on my screen is currently glowing green. Well, as we slowly move this bound over towards the floor, you will see that now as we hit this area here, we're able to simply move to these areas. But if I put this partway through the floor, we're able to move through all of the floor, or everything that's in this volume. So if you would like this AI to be able to have access to everything in the level, you might want to go back and scale this upwards as well. So now everything is better selected. It's not perfect. It can be better tuned if you were so inclined. But regardless, we now know where the AI can go. So when I hit play now, and I sneak up on this little freak, we can see that it chases us to the ends of the earth and it really just wants to eat us. But honestly, that feels a little fast. Luckily, we have a character movement component inside of our blueprint. So let's go into our character movement component and search for something called speed. You will then see the variable max walk speed, and that just happens to be what the AI move to is using as the speed. So let's just slash this down to 400 instead of 600 and compile and save. Let's hit play one more time, sneak up on our little AI friend and watch him chase us at a much more reasonable and less threatening pace. And that is how you can use PawnSensing's sight sense in order to get an AI to follow your player. In the next video I do on AI, we will be talking about the hearing sense and going through how we can go about hearing something in the world. So if that sounds interesting to you, subscribe to the channel because I'll be making that soon. Otherwise, have a fantastic day and good luck in your projects. We'll see you next time. Take care.